going on YouTube? German D Glass here, aka I'm a fucking drunk, y'all. And now this drunken bash right here is actually a very special one because I don't know why I hadn't thought of this bash sooner. I don't know why this wasn't the first one. And the reason this one finally came to mind, I was sitting there thinking the other day, man, what am I gonna make a video on this weekend? And well, I started thinking, I was like, oh, drunken bash, I need another drunken bash. And I thought of who? Who deserves it? Who really deserves a drunken bash? And then it struck me. The bitch of a stepmother that I used to have. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know why it didn't hit me sooner. Because this woman made my life an absolute fucking hell. Now, the reason I sat there and thought and laughed about this was because I'm sitting here like, man, I have nothing to do with her anymore. She's not in my life anymore. I ain't even seen her in a couple of years. And I don't give a fuck nowadays what I say to people. So, why the fuck not her? Now, to understand why I hate this bitch so much, we gotta give a little backstory on how this person was. By the way, I could give a fuck less about names than this. Her name is Patricia Greenleaf, and she used to live in a town called Kermit, Texas. She may still live here. I have no clue. And this woman was literally the most horrible human being in my life. Now, I was smaller back around 7th grade. It was probably around 6th grade this woman came in my life. But around 7th grade is when things got really bad, when I moved in with my dad. Now, yes, I was smaller. I got bullied at school, so I didn't like being at school. And you would think maybe I can come home to some peace. No, it wasn't that way. This bitch was abusive mentally and physically. Mentally, she made me feel like I was the lowest piece of garbage there was on the planet. She made me feel bad about myself. And physically, there was literally points where she would just shove me to the floor, pull me by my hair. She even took her fingernails one time and dug them into my ear and scratched the inside of my ears up. This woman was just an absolute horrible fucking monster of a bitch. And I could not stand her. Now, yes, some people could chalk it up to like, well, you were just the rowdy teen that didn't want to listen. There was points like that. I made it my goal to make her life as bad as I could because she made my life horrible. She had stupid rules like that made my life horrible. Even during the summer, I still had these rules. No more than 3 hours of TV, music, computer, and all that combined. No more than 3 hours a day, even during the summer. I could see during the school year that being a decent rule, you know, get out at 3, watch TV till 6 or something like that. But the fact I couldn't have headphones in my ears because past the time, nobody else on the computer, I couldn't get on it. I couldn't be in my room playing video games. I was literally restricted to her rules because she wanted to make my life hell. And like I said, some people may go, well, I kind of see where she's coming from with that. You know, it's a good rule to have. Don't get you addicted to technology. We'll go beyond that of how horrible of a human being she was. She had a kid with MS. I'm not going to mention his name because I like him. She has a kid with MS. He should probably be in his early 30s. Because he was in his mid-20s then, whenever I knew him. So he was bedridden, right? This bitch would leave him sitting in his bed for hours upon time with crappy, shitty diapers, piss-ridden diapers, because she didn't feel like changing him at the time. He would call and call for just a drink of water. Guess who would go give him a drink of water? Me or my dad, because she was too busy doing something else. Or the assisted living nurses that would come in and take care of him throughout the days, you know, every now and then. They would have to do it. And by the way, I hope you're watching this. I hope if somebody in Kermit is watching this and is actually friends with this bitch, or knows her, even if you're not friends with her, send her the link to this. I want this bitch to see what I finally think about her. And I want something set straight with this bitch. Whenever I was in 7th grade, I called CPS on her for the scratched up ears. Actually, I didn't even do it. The school did it. The school seen my ears scratched up to the inside. They called CPS. I didn't. Of course, nothing got done because she was best friend with the sheriff's daughter in town, so she had all the pull. And if you are watching this, Pat, guess what? I'm not the one who called APS on you, Adult Protective Services. That was one of your nurses that came to the house and seen how much you fucking neglect your son because you're a piece of shit, former drug addict bitch that don't fucking deserve to even be on this fucking planet. Not me. You made my life a living hell after they showed up because you thought it was me. It wasn't me, you dumb fucking cunt. And it wasn't even me that just didn't like her. It was also my grandparents, my grandma and my great-grandma. They couldn't stand this bitch. My dad deserved so much better than her. And we'll get to another point in that. You may be thinking, like, well, why didn't your dad leave? Did you not see this stuff? Did you not care? We'll get to a point in that in a second. It was literally so bad that me and my grandmas, of course, you know, I didn't cuss in front of them. An insult in our house, just playing around or, like, you know, whatever, just messing around. An insult was, oh, Pat. We'd call each other Pat. And it was literally like, if I called my grandma Pat, you didn't, because she knew how much of a bitch that person was. Now, I want to get on the subject and clear something up. My dad worked 3 jobs, so he wasn't around a lot, so he didn't see the full stories. So, you know, of course, in his mind, he thought a lot of it was just the angsty teen that didn't want to listen. And like I said, some of that was that. But towards the end of my dad's life, he finally did start seeing that. He seen what was actually going on. He couldn't stand the bitch anymore. But my dad was such a kind-hearted person. He wouldn't kick her out of the house because kicking her out of the house meant Kevin had to go back to the... Well, never mind. I just said his name. I said I wasn't going to say his name. Her son was going to go back to the nursing home, which he couldn't... He didn't want that because that nursing home was shit. He did not want him going back there. He wanted him to have a good life in the house. Well, I say a good life, a decent life in the house with the nurses taking care of him because his fucking mother wasn't going to do it. And my dad had about enough of it, and he was tired of seeing the way she treated me. So he was just going to up and leave with me one day to another town. He already had plans on buying another house and everything. And it was going to be great, but circumstances happened. He passed away before that chance ever came. So I don't want anybody thinking that, oh, that's your dad's being a bad father for not noticing that stuff. He noticed, and he was going to get me away from it. But going back to this bitch, going off, getting back on the subject, this fucking cunt right here, I want you to know this. If you watch this video, I literally hope you burn in hell for everything you put me through. I literally hope you are tortured in hell beyond all belief for all the things you put me through and all the things you did to me to make me feel like I was worthless. And guess what? I may have not made the best life out of myself. But at least I tried. At least I'm not a drug addict bitch like you are. At least I'm not hopped up on meth and speed like your life got to. You fucking cunt. And that's really all I gotta say about you. You're a bitch. I can't stand you. I never will stand you. And I may not like my own mother, but I probably would have been better off with her than I was with you. And if you watch the other video about how I felt about my own mom, then you know me saying that you're worse than her is a pretty bad deal right there, because you really are. I never knew motherly love because of you, because of her, until my Aunt Becca. But regardless of that, like I said, I ain't seen you in years, and I hope I go the rest of my life without ever seeing you again, if you're even still alive. You're an old bitch, fat bitch at that. You were always fat, ugly skank of a whore, and you need to burn in hell. That's all there is to that. Simple as that. This is probably one of my more serious bashes out there. Probably a lot more emotion left in this bash, and I'm glad I'm getting this all out there, just at the hope that you see this shit. I'm kind of going on ranting at this point. I don't even know if there's anything else left to say about you. I really don't think there is. I think I've used up all the time that I need to spend on this because you're not worth any more of my time. So as always, stay motherfucking drunk, y'all.